Now, I think my partner and as the opponents would probably agree on, that there are multiple reasons why homeschoolers are doing what they're doing. Some want to pay more closer attention because of special disabilities, and others want to just teach their ideals to their children. But the fact that the majority of homeschool students have parents who are like that doesn't mean that we should ban homeschooling. That means that we should give parents the opportunity to focus on their children in a more intensive way, to give them the education that will help them succeed. Now, my first point is that the burden of proof lies with the state to show why they have a greater interest in the education of homeschooled children than parents. This piece of evidence I have for this is from an academic article called "Rethinking the Boundaries and Burdens of Parental Authority Over Education," a response to Robert Bragg's case study of homeschooling. The major reason public schools are subject to these tests, referring to academic tests, is that they are responsible to taxpayers. Most homeschooling families, however, do not benefit from publicly funded educational activities. Therefore, I would argue that the burden must remain with the state to justify the needs for testing. And this is despite the fact that homeschoolers have been scoring way above the average public schooler on things like SAT, high school scores, other tests such as the Iowa State proficiency exam, etc. Homeschoolers, also, it's been shown that even without formal education, homeschoolers read above the age level, the average age level. This is from an article called "Parental Patience and Children's Reading, a Pilot Study of Homeschooled Children." Educational scholars have generally concluded that successful reading requires intensive formal instruction, but we found that many homeschooled children received little to no formal instruction, yet they learned to read at or above age level by the time they were 8. Also, just to focus a little bit on regulation and the idea that because pretty much all or a grand majority of homeschool parents are very intensive in their personal attention that they give to the children, that this is no different than personal attention given by concerned parents in the public school system. It's not just that. There are also other issues to be considered. For example, it was found that in homeschooling, race does not significantly affect the results of students' academic performance. Now, this is big because in the public school system, those who are in minorities, whether they have involved parents or not, perform way less than their majority counterparts. For example, white public school 8th grade students nationally scored 58th percentile in math and 57th percentile in reading. Black 8th grade students, on the other hand, scored on average at the 24th percentile in math and the 28th percentile in math. Hispanics scored at 29th percentile in math and 28th percentile in reading. However, for white and black students in homeschooling, there was little difference. In a multivariate analysis, most relationships held that the differences were not detectable between white and black students and between students in 2-parent households and students in 1-parent households. That quote was referring to the academic performance. To state exact numbers, white and minority students in homeschooling scored, on average, about an 87th percentile, and whites scored 82nd percentile, while minorities scored 77th percentile. While there's still a discrepancy, the discrepancy is not as much as it was in the public school system.